All right, now let's check in with national correspondent Logan Radick on Capitol Hill. Logan.
Well, Katrina and Bob, good to see you. Behind me is the office building that is the home of the Biden Center for Diplomacy as part of the University of Pennsylvania, Capitol Hill. I'm at the base of it right now, and just about a mile down the road is the White House, the current home of President Joe Biden. Now, James just mentioned that CNN and other outlets are reporting that the classified documents that were obtained in the office here related to intel matters involving the United Kingdom and also Ukraine and Iran. Now, after Biden was vice president, he took up an office here in mid-2017. He had that office all the way through when he announced his run for president of the United States, that 2020 campaign. Former President Donald Trump, though, even though there's no evidence that these documents are related to China, he is accusing President Biden of having this business relationship with the Chinese, seemingly referring to an article published in April of 2022, noting that the University of Pennsylvania received nearly $55 million in Chinese donations between 2014 and 2019, but that money did not go to the Biden Institute itself. It went to the University of Pennsylvania as a whole. Now, the Biden Center opened its doors in February of 2018. That was a year after Biden left office as vice president. And in a statement, the University of Pennsylvania says, quote, "The Penn Biden Center has never solicited or received any gifts from any Chinese or other foreign entity. In fact, the university has never solicited any gifts for the center," meaning the Biden Center right behind me. Now, the Presidential Records Act requires all presidential and vice presidential documents to be turned over to the National Archives. But as James was just alluding to, House Republicans are beginning to open up investigations. And the question that I've heard all day on Capitol Hill is, why did this news of that November 2nd move to take these documents out of this Biden Center, why did that only come out in the last 24 hours or so, about 2 months after the midterm elections? Bob, Katrina, back to you.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are asking. Thank you very much. Joining us right now to discuss, former acting U.S. Attorney General Matt Whitaker. Matt, your thoughts about what's going on with these documents?
Well, it's good to be with you and Katrina today, Bob. But, my first thought is that the investigation, the special counsel's investigation into the documents obtained at Mar-a-Lago has gone up in smoke. I mean, this is a very similar set of facts. And we can argue on the margins, and obviously the Biden White House can try to spin this and lawyers can issue statements. But the long story short, it's the exact same types of documents, the exact same statutes at question. And the most interesting thing in this whole situation to me is that in both Hunter Biden's case and now in Joe Biden's case, Merrick Garland appoints U.S. attorneys that were appointed by Trump that are still in office to do those investigations. When it comes to Trump, he appoints a special counsel with different rules. And so I'm surprised right now that at least Joe Biden doesn't have a special counsel looking into these documents and, whether any laws were violated.
Well, it may not surprise you. There are some people that disagree with the perspective, including MSNBC host Rachel Maddow, who defended Joe Biden, the president, in this story.
Reason this created a lot of excitement on the right briefly tonight is that it immediately created a perceived whataboutism defense for President Trump. A brief flurry of excitement on the right about this prospect when this news broke about the Penn Biden Center. The reason it was only a brief flurry of excitement is because in President Biden's case, he and his lawyers appear to have actually done the right thing.
In other words, responding. It did take quite a while for the Trump folks to respond, at least to the archives' satisfaction. So what's your response to what she had to say, Matt?
Well, I mean, it might be good for political commentators, but in the law, there is no distinction on this timeline. In fact, Joe Biden had these documents longer. I think the interesting thing is, why is there no inquiry as to, he's got multiple houses, he has multiple places where he could have Obama presidential era documents, and there's just doesn't seem to be any interest. Because remember, at the end of the day, it's not about the law. It is all about politics, and ultimately it's all about trying to get Donald Trump and prevent him through certain statutes from running in 2024. And
yeah, Matt, we're running short on time, and I just wanted to bring up, if it's true, the reports are that it includes information on the UK as well as Iran and Ukraine. Iran does raise a red flag a little bit, doesn't it?
It does, and we don't know who had access to those office. We don't know how secure the office was. It certainly didn't have Secret Service agents that were guarding it 24/7. So there's a lot more questions, Bob, and I'm sure some in the future will come on and talk more about this as the story develops.
And then Ukraine is a place that Hunter Biden has had some activities, let's say, at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, I think the U.S. Attorney in Chicago who's looking into this is going to be very interested in what the contents of those documents, because that does matter to your point.
Right. All right, Matt Whitaker, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.